Incredible work on that story. Isn't it cool to see, we live in a coastal community here in the coastal bend, the parallels between all the things that they learned from that huge storm in Galveston to what we do here to protect against hurricanes too, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a universal experience no matter where you live on the coast, whether you live in Florida or here in the coastal bend. We all have to deal with tropical weather at some point or another, unfortunately.
Yes, we do. But we do have weather to look at as well right now.
Yeah.
So what about that?
Yeah, we're going to have a fantastic evening of weather. Other than the wind, it is going to remain pretty breezy tonight. Just like yesterday, you probably heard it going outside your window. 69 is our low temperature for tonight into tomorrow morning. This would be our first 60-degree temperature since May 18th. So a clear and breezy evening. Definitely your coffee on the porch type of weather tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, a little bit cooler than we were today by a handful of degrees. 89 is where I'm expecting us to top out. We're going to be noticeably less humid, pretty similar to today, just a little bit drier. And again, still on the breezy side. So not a bad day if you do plan on heading out to the beach. The UV index is going to be on the extreme side thanks to all that sunshine. Temperatures are going to be pretty nice, but keep in mind that we will have a pretty high rip current risk due to large waves and increased wave periods, as well as some minor coastal flooding. This is all thanks to that disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico. So you can see the next few days through about Wednesday, we're going to probably have a high rip current risk. Here's a look back on the tropics again. You can see Invest 92L and the other area of interest with a medium chance of development, as well as Invest 91L. This is what we are concerned with over the coming days. Now, this could go one of two ways. We talked about this at the top of our show. A weaker system, it's going to interact with more wind shear over Texas. That would mean it's coming closer to us. That means more rain for us and more direct impacts. Now, if it's a stronger system, it's going to curve further out into the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to be more steered by this upper level high pressure, kind of going like this. So that means it's further into the Gulf and less rain for us. However, that really high chance of development does not guarantee that it gets a name. That being said, the next name on the list is Francine. So zooming this in, let's take a check of those rain chances. You can see those higher chances going to be closer to the coast compared to the further inland that you go. Places like Webb County and over into LaSalle and McMullen County, not going to be seeing all that much weather, whichever way this goes. So if that system does come closer to the coast and maybe even rides up the coast, these rain chances would get pushed further inland and we would see higher chances here in Corpus Christi. Now, if that system goes further out, meaning it was a stronger storm, we're seeing less direct impacts. These rain chances get pulled back. You can see we would end up with those lower rain chances over us here in Corpus Christi. That being said, the Weather Service is going ahead and issuing these flood risks for the coastal bend. So here's a check of Mondays. We have a marginal risk along the coast. Heading into Tuesday, that risk does expand further inland, and we also add a slight risk to our coastal counties. Heading into Wednesday, that risk is pulled back towards the coast, but some of our counties like Refugio and Aransas still have that slight risk for flooding. And the reason that we have this flood risk is, think back to this past week, we've already had multiple inches of rain. You add more tropical downpours on top of already saturated soil and things can flood pretty quickly. So we could be expecting some pretty heavy rain between Tuesday and Wednesday. So those tropical downpours could lead to localized flooding. So even though our actual rain chances are a little bit lower than our typical criteria for a weather impact alert day, just because we could be seeing this, we want you to be prepared. So we're making sure that we have these issued so you can have your rain gear and make sure that you're driving safe. And remember, we talked about this a lot with Hurricane Beryl earlier this summer, but a minor shift in that track can mean a big change in the impacts we see here. So if it comes closer to us, we see more impacts. If it goes further away, we see less impacts. That being said, here's a check of our 7-day forecast. Again, tomorrow, a very nice day with temperatures starting out around 70 degrees and then topping out right under the 90-degree mark. So that is as close as we're getting to fall in South Texas for a while. Unfortunately, the humidity does come back once we see those rain chances come in. So heading into the blitz for next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, those rain chances stay low, but the humidity is going to be pretty high again.
All right. Thank you for that, Kristen. You mentioned the blitz. We always got to keep the fingers crossed.
Yes.
I remember last year we did have a game or a week where a lot of games were severely affected by that.
Hopefully, no more.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers always crossed. Thank you, Kristen.